Right, so I've not heard many people with this stance. I'm just going to say this now that the news is coming in with Russia talking about stopping their offensive in Ukraine. They're going to hold the lines, try and negotiate peace again. Let's see what happens. Who knows? Maybe the West will force Zelensky in however way they do it to continue the war. But people will still support Zelensky. People on the left, and they'll support him as his hero. He's his war hero. He's protecting his country. And I'm like, sure, Ukraine have the right to defend themselves. Of course they do, right? I'm not even talking about whether they're aggressors or whether they're not. If a country goes into yours with a military, whether it was your fault or not, of course you're not going to just sit by and do nothing. You're going to defend yourself, right? But at what point does he no longer become a hero? Because sure, you should defend your own country from military occupation. You should, as a leader. But then at what point do you have to say enough? At what point do you have to say my people is worth more than my land? At what point do you have 500,000 men killed, your entire the entire young generation of men who would be the future of the country are now all dead? At what point do you then have to sit back and say, okay, this war is not worth fighting? I could lose 10% of my land. So I could lose 10% of my land and still have a population, still have a country, or I could let my entire people be murdered, brutally murdered in war. And it's sure, it's heroic to stand and protect your country and protect your country's land, but at what point do you say enough? I can't fight this anymore. We're all dead. Because I don't think it's heroic at that point. I think once you've let 500,000 men, whatever the number is now, die, and another million, 2 million, horribly injured, I think you have to sit there and say, okay, we tried our best, but we can't have any more people dying. People are more important than the land. I think there has to come a point. I think that point should have came over a year ago. Surrender exists for a reason. Surrender is when you weigh out the risks, the positives and the negatives, and you sit there and go, okay, this war is either going to last 5, 6, 7 years. We're not even going to get the land back anyway, and everyone's going to die. Or we could just settle it now. No more people dead. Maybe you lose a bit of land. That's just how it is. We're not the biggest country in the world. We're not the strongest army in the world. We don't have all the equipment, all the numbers. Fine, we just have to accept that. That's why you surrender, because you're like, okay, can't lose any more people. This is getting pretty bad now. It would be the best decision. Because at what point do you just become kind of idiotic or just evil? At the point when you're just fighting the war just for the sake of fighting it, just for the sake of, lose more people, don't even gain any land back, lose more people die, more people die, more people die, more people die on both sides. At what point do you no longer become a hero? At what point do you just become someone who doesn't even care about your own people and just cares about a tiny little inch of land or whatever else the plan is? Because I don't think Zelensky cares that much about, 10% of his land. I don't think he cares that much about it. There's got to be something else. I don't know, you can tell me what it is. But all I'm saying, at one point do you get this? He's no hero. He's not, because you care about a mere bit of land, and those people in that land were already wanting to be part of Russia anyway, and you were killing them. So it's like, do you really care about that land that much? Like, your people are dying. Like 500,000, millions injured. Just surrender. Surrender is a good thing sometimes. Surrender exists for a reason, as I said. Surrender exists when you now realise this war is unwinnable, and I'm only having more and more people die, and my entire country is pretty much destroyed now, and I don't want it to get any worse. And he's let it get that bit worse. Zelensky isn't no hero. Sure, he was for the first year, put up a fight, but now he has to understand, come to terms with it. I'm going to have to lose some land. Everyone's dead. That's a big mistake. But it's probably not a mistake. I think he knows fine well what he's doing. Yeah, this should have ended a long time ago.